to introduce himself. Please, Mr. Kalisa.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yog. Good afternoon, everyone. My friends from Germany and friends, colleagues in East Africa. My name is John Bosco Kalisa. I'm the new Executive Director for East African Business Council, of course based in Arusha, but currently I'm in Kampala meeting the stakeholders. It is my pleasure and really an honor to participate in this close-out meeting. And I want to thank Dr. Yog and the team for excellent work you did in terms of raising the capacity and capability of EABC. So over to you, Dr. Yog.
Thank you very much. And without further ado, maybe I would first like to give the German partners the opportunity to introduce themselves, as they have also been calling on EBC to invite for this meeting. And on behalf of the Federation of German Industries, this would be Matthias Wachter. Please, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Jörg. It's my pleasure seeing all of you again, and I'm very grateful about that. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Matthias Wachter. I'm the head of department for international cooperation at the Federation of German Industries. And I have to admit that I'm working together with the EBC from day one on of the project, so for more than 6 years now. And I think today is a very special moment because we are coming to an official end of our joint project. Unfortunately, we cannot extend it because that's the formal rules. But as the official project is coming to an end, I think a new form of partnership will arise, and we will stay in close contact and we'll work together in the future as well. And we are still very much and very closely connected to our other project, Creating Perspectives, where the EABC and BDI are the two very good partners together with the GIZ. So that's for the moment from my side. Again, it's great to see all of you again, and looking forward to our today's event, and I'm passing back to Dr. Jörg.
Thank you very much. Maybe also Lara wishes to say a few words before we officially begin the meeting.
Thank you, Jörg. Hello, everyone. It's good to see you again. I think I've seen at least most of you for the last 2 weeks. My name is Lara Peterson. I am the coordinator of our common partnership project from the German side. And I would like to thank you for taking the time to talk to us during the last 2 weeks. I think even though we have been working with EABC very closely, we have learned a lot from your perspectives, and we got new ideas, new insights, and it's been really helpful. I'm looking forward to also learn about the results of our project. And yeah, as Matthias said, the project will come to an end by probably October, but the partnership will continue, and we will continue to advertise the region and EABC in Germany, and we'll continue to strengthen our common networks and work together. And I'm really looking forward to that. Thank you. Handing back to Dr. Jörg.
Thank you very much. And maybe also Julia from SECWA wishes to address the group. Thank you.
Thank you, Jörg. I'm not sure if there is still anybody who don't know me yet, but in case, yeah, there is still someone. My name is Julia Müller. I represent the organization SECWA. SECWA has designed this partnership program, And on one hand, we have a very close relationship to the private sector in Germany, who represent the German partners in those projects. And on the other side, we have a strong connection to the German Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development. And that's why we have this possibility to provide you the access to the funds for those projects. So as Mr. Wachter has already said, it's not possible to extend this partnership project, but we are looking forward to another new form of partnership with you. And also from my side, thank you so much to the EABC team and to all of you for the participating in our mission and for supporting us in this mission. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Julia. Now, the reason why we gathered over the past 10 days and how we gathered a lot of very interesting feedback, which was provided to the German partners. We had Claudia Martens with us, who can briefly introduce herself maybe, but who's also going to be having a major input round for you, for everyone who's participating, because she's also going to be sharing the feedback from the evaluation round. Maybe Claudia, you and also Lisa wish to maybe say a few words about yourselves.
Thank you very much. Yes, of course. Most of you I've at least virtually seen already during the past 1.5 weeks. I'm Claudia Martens, and I'm a consultant in the area of private sector development. For more than 16 years, I've been working in that area, also in Africa. And it's been a pleasure really learning so much about EABC, the region, and also its members over the past 1.5 weeks. It was very insightful, very interesting and enriching. And I would like to thank all of you who participated already now for your contributions and also for the organization, because without EABC, all these meetings would not have been possible. So all of you, thank you so much for your support to allow me and my colleague Lisa to gain some insights and draw conclusions. Thank you very much. And now I hand over to my colleague, Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia. Good afternoon, everyone. It is very good to see most of you again after we've talked to most of you during last week during the interviews. My name is Lisa Junemann. I'm also a consultant for private sector development and also working in the area or in the region of East Africa. So it was my pleasure really to talk to all of you, to hear about EABC and your achievements also. So thank you very much for taking your time during last week to talk to us. Thank you also, of course, for organizing everything to EABC, but also to BDI, and especially to Jörg, who has also done quite a lot for us during this time. And yes, I'm very much looking forward to this closure meeting. And I'm also very looking forward to sharing our results with you. Thank you very much, and back to Dr. Jörg.
Thank you very much, Lisa. And I would like to hand over the torch, because all of this, for me organizing it for the German partners, would not have been possible, in fact, without the very, very strong support of Evelyn, who is based in Nairobi, based at EABC Secretariat. Thank you very much, Evelyn, for your support and also for others to join. Now, I would like to briefly ask the others who are attending, who made time and room for this meeting, to briefly introduce themselves, because you have been interview partners somewhere along the line of us, of the German partners, over the last 10 days. And maybe the others don't even know that we interviewed you. So I see Mr. Tembo from the EAC Ministry in Uganda. Please, Mr. Tembo, would you like to kindly introduce just a few words about yourselves? And thank you very much.
Tembo is muted. Unmute yourself, Tembo.
Perfect. We can hear you. Oh, no. You're still muted. Sorry.
He's still muted.
You're still muted? Oh, okay, you're going to get some help. Maybe in the meantime, I see some familiar faces and national liaison officers. I see Emmanuel Lobega.
It is now on.
Oh, now Mr. Tembo is, we can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yes, good afternoon. This is Tembo Etomat Joseph. I'm a Principal Regional Integration Officer at the Ministry of East African Community. Thank you. I think that will do for now. Last time we were unable to view, to see me. So this is me. For those who have not been able to, those that have not met, yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. And it's good to see you now, be able to connect the name to a face. And without further ado, we have some EABC staff members joining us here. We have Geoffrey Kamanzi, we have Audrey, National Liaison Officer, Rwanda, we have Emmanuel Obega, if I'm not mistaken, I see, of course, Brian, National Liaison Officer for Kenya. I see Patrick Moshi, yes, of course. And I see Mr. Steven from Uganda, is that? Thank you very much for introducing you, maybe also to the team.
Hey. Yeah.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, everyone.
Dr. York is Stuart, not Stephen, eh? But he can introduce himself.
Ah, that's it, exactly. Thank you very much. Sorry.
He's our board member. He sits on my executive committee.
Dr. Yob and all the members present here, thank you for finding time, sparing your valuable time. Stuart, Jason, Mwesigwa are my names. I work with Roofings Group, #1 steel and plastics manufacturing company for construction products. We were together virtual, of course, last week. I say Lara doesn't seem to remember my face. But thank you very much for everything. And we look forward to doing many more things, even if not in the old style. We have new blood, I was saying, new energy, new ideas, new everything. We look forward to moving together. Of course, COVID-19, COVID-20, I don't know whether COVID-2021 is coming also. We have just to look for a way of how to work in this kind of environment. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. And also one more partner of ours is Ronnie Molongo. Please, if you please, Ronnie.
Ronnie, go ahead, please introduce yourself.
Okay. So, Ronnie, we have you with us also. Thank you very much. Good to see you. And
thank you very much, Joe.
So, without further ado, I'm hereby officially opening this BDI EABC closing meeting, which we invited for, and in fact EABC invited for, because we thought it would be a good time after the 10 days of progress review to not just give you feedback, but also get together, look back on the previous 3 years, and for some even 6 years, as we just learned, and also maybe take an outlook on what's coming up. And for that matter, I would like to first call on ED Kalisa for a few opening remarks, and I thank you very much. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Young. Thank you, everyone from BDI group. Thanks to the evaluators, Claudia, Lisa, and really I want to say thank you and have a good afternoon. On my part, I want to recognize and appreciate the presence of our board member, Mwesigwa Stuart, who made time to be with me. I'm seated with him here in Kampala, and I'm happy and I really appreciate his time and commitment to this project. So I want also to thank my team members who made time. Again, one of our partners from Ministry of EAC, who has just introduced himself, but my national focal points, Emmanuel, we have the team Lamek, we have Geoffrey, we have, I think a number of our focal points are present, and I want to thank them for making time for this exciting, so of course, well, we were saying it is a closeout, but again, I'm looking forward in terms of the insight from Claudia and Lisa, what we have achieved, where can we improve, especially enhancing our capability and capacity to serve our members, and also the future recommendation for engaging and enhancing our collaboration. So I really want to say that on the behalf of the Secretary General, Dr. Peter Mathuki, who was not able to join due to other commitment, he has conveyed his appreciation to you and the team, especially you, Dr. Yog and the team, Lara, for doing excellent work in terms of making the EABC visible, making EABC play its important role in terms of serving its member. So I just a quick, I know I'm giving a few remarks, but I wanted to give key highlights, and I want to thank you, the entire team from BDI, that you've laid a very strong foundation for EABC, a very strong foundation in terms of growing our membership base, in terms of our membership services. You've deployed a number of tools, a number of support to ensure that we serve our members better. Where I am in Kampala, members are really appreciating what EABC is doing now, of course, with from your support. So the growth of membership services is very critical and has been critical as our key project and key deliverable that we've achieved through your support. Second to that is the areas related to advocacy. I think we've done a lot on the advocacy side, where the issues, mainly those which are technical, what we call technical barriers to trade, a number of them have been addressed through your support. So I want to thank you and thank the team that have worked on a very strong advocacy agenda across the EAC, and your results are clear, laudable, appreciated across the board. So I look forward to further engage in that area and support. Let me also say that your support has also been critical in terms of our communication, our visibility, our media advocacy, our newsletter, weekly newsletter, monthly newsletter. It is clear it has been well disseminated to our members, and that is through your kind and continuous support and engagement. Lastly, but note the final one is your strengthening EABC institutional capacity. I think EABC, where I'm sitting now, is in the right position, in the right place, in the center to drive the integration agenda. And I think the EABC now is going to be one of the respected voice of the private sector in the region. So I look forward, of course, to hear from the Claudia and the team and Lisa in terms of the recommendation areas for improvement and the future engagements. How do we take it forward? How do we continue to enhance and strengthen the partnership? So before I conclude my remarks, again, I want to underline and thank Lara. Lara has been very instrumental in a, I always say Lara is an East African citizen. Is no longer a German citizen because of her passion to love East Africa and drive East Africa. So thank you very much, Lara, and I look forward for continuous support with also the sister Julia. You've done amazing work across the board. Of course, Dr. Yog, you've been part and parcel of the delivery of the exciting results we are talking about. You've been on the driving seat. You've been the driver to drive my team to ensure they deliver good service to our members. So with those few remarks, again, I want to thank everyone and thank my board members who are here and those who are not here, again, for always provide insight and direction to drive the integration agenda, which is anchored on private sector development. So I look forward for further engagement and I look forward for recommendation from the team. Over to you, Dr. Yog.
Thank you very much for your warm words, Mr. Kalisa, Iti Kalisa. I really thank you very much. I would like to now hand over to Mr. Matthias Wachter from BDI, because he, of course, has the perspective from the total 6 years of the partnership project. And I think he also has a few words to say. Thank you very much. The floor is yours, Matthias.
Thank you, Dr. Jörg. Again, it's my pleasure. And today, like I said in my brief introduction, I think it's a very special day, a very special moment, and I'm personally very attached to that, because like Jörg said, I know the partnership from day one, and I very much remember when we started and we had our first talks, and when there was the first mission to East Africa, and we spoke with the partners, and we came from a smaller similar partnership project from Ghana, and our goal was to do, let's say, the next level, and we were looking for a partner which is active in several countries in a region, representing a very dynamic region, and representing a lot of potential. And so that's how we found the East African Business Council. And after the first meetings and exchanges we had, it was clear that the EABC would be a perfect fit, because the EABC stands for regional integration, stands for tearing down borders and barriers, promoting regional integration and a big market for East Africa, and bringing the entire region forward. And that's something that impressed us a lot. That's something we are fully aligned to, and that's also something what we are working for as the Federation of German Industries in Europe. Yeah, so there are a lot of similarities, and that's the reason why I think there was a perfect fit. And I think when we started and we look at the EABC 6.5 years ago from now, and if we look at the EABC today, there is a really tremendous improvement how the organization works, how successful the organization is. Everything has become much more professional. You have great access to the heads of state and leading politicians in the region, and the EABC today now really makes an impact, and is a force for good, and is changing, and is a voice which is heard. And that your former Director General, is now working for the East African community as the DG. I think that speaks for the EABC as well, and the role EABC played, and how credible and how important the East African Business Council is nowadays seen in East Africa. And I know he's not here today, but again, I would like to congratulate Peter Mathuki for running the EABC in the last couple of years so successful. and now for becoming the EG for the East African community. I think that's great. That speaks again for the EABC, that speaks for Peter, and that speaks for the role and importance EABC is playing today. During the last 6 years, I had the opportunity to visit you and the EABC and our partners very often. And I think Burundi is the only country which I not traveled to. And I really have to say I love East Africa. I really fell in love thanks to the project and the EABC and the opportunities of doing joint events and conferences. And really, I really like what I have seen, and I feel really attached. And that's also something I would say. We not only work together very successful on a professional level, but also on a personal level. And I think that EABC and BDI and the colleagues on both sides who worked on this joint endeavor became friends. And that's something we would like to maintain, and I think that will stay even after the official project is over. And I think that's maybe the biggest sign of how successful this project was and is, that we created something which will last even after the official project is over. So once again, I would like to thank all of you in all countries, in all functions, for participating, for working so hard, and for making this success, and for strengthening the East African Business Council as the voice of business in East Africa. I really enjoyed it from day one until today. I mean, they have in between, of course, also some challenging times, but I think we managed them very well. And I think this is the important thing, and this will last. Relationship without challenges, I think that there would be something strange about that. Yeah. So we managed that. We made it to turn it into opportunities. We grew, and yeah. So I'm very happy. I'm very excited, but I'm also very proud of the work all of you did and enabled. And once again, thank you very much for this joint endeavor, this close cooperation. And I'm really looking forward seeing all of you again in East Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Matthias. And I would like to now hand over to Claudia and her team, Claudia and Lisa. What is going to come up now is a presentation which contains feedback. Feedback because through feedback we can improve. But I can also say this without any negative connotation, because I can already disclose to all that are present in this meeting here that we received positive feedback throughout the entire 10 days. There were a couple of concrete ideas, however, which we also thought were really good as something we like to call food for thought. And this is my catchy phrase now to turn to Claudia, which kinds of food for thought she has for you. She's going to give her presentation to the team now. Thank you very much, Claudia.
Thank you, Jörg. Yeah, I will share my screen now with you. I hope it will work. Please let me know if you can see it. Yes, okay. So again, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for participating today. I really look forward to presenting you our main findings It's been a pleasure, really, again, to talk to you and to learn so much from you. Before I start my presentation, I would like to invite you to raise questions and comments using the virtual hand here on MS Teams. So if you have a question or a comment on the presentation, please raise your virtual hand or use the chat room. So after each main section of my presentation, I will make a little break and give you the floor so that there's enough room right away afterward, after I've presented, for you to ask questions and make comments. So, and Lisa, who's contributed a lot to all this review and presentation, she will monitor who comes first, because I will focus on the presentation now. Okay, so let's start. Again, we did this progress review of the second phase of the EABC BDI partnership project, which started in September 2018, and for the time being will end at the end of August 2021. There has been a request for extension until the end of October, but it has not been confirmed yet by the German ministry. This is why we are looking for August now at the moment. Before I start, I present to you briefly the agenda by describing the main objectives of this project progress review and also the methodology we've used. Then I will remind you of the EABC BDI partnership project's objectives and expected results, because there are so many. We discovered that also during our interviews. There are so many projects going on. Also this other BDI project, Creating Perspectives, together with GIZ. But in order for you to have it clear what we are talking about here today, I will briefly remind you of these objectives and results. Then I come to the most exciting part, namely the major project achievements since September 2018. Here it's important to know that I will really present those achievements of EABC where the project had a stake in and was involved. There have been so many achievements. I will not name all of them because I will focus, and that was the objective, on the project's contribution. And then in the end, as Jörg rightly said, we have some food for thought for you, both for the project end and the next months to come, and also beyond, of course. I will let you know our objectives, Lisa's and mine. So the first objective was to analyze to what extent the objectives at the beginning of the second phase that were set then have been achieved actually, and how you as project partners have benefited from them. And from this analysis, we are supposed to make recommendations for the project completion and also for measures to ensure sustainability of the achieved. To do so, we have reviewed all the relevant project documents which were provided to us by BDI and SEQA. We had lots of nice talks with the German project team, so Jörg, Lara and Julia from BDI and SEQA, but mainly and most importantly, we conducted 19 interviews with all of you and more even who are not with us today over the past 1.5 weeks. So what were the objectives again of the BDI EABC partnership project and the expected results? Here they are. There's one overall objective, which was really overall to strengthen appropriate legal, administrative, and institutional frameworks that enable the free movement of goods, services, and labor within the East African community. So enhancing the framework conditions for regional economic integration. And the project objective, more specifically, was that EABC has strengthened its commitment to the implementation of a deeper regional economic integration in the interest of the private sector and in a sustainable manner. Now, we are looking mostly now in this presentation on the 3 result areas that the project has. The first one is that EABC has pushed private sector interest at the EAC level together with the national focal points, and there should be a formalized dialogue with the EAC. The second result is that visibility and reputation of the EABC has been tangibly strengthened. And finally, the last result, number 3, was that EABC has sustainably enhanced its performance and stakeholders and members see its value added. So now let's have a look what of these objectives and results have been achieved. Result 1, I remind you, is now pushing private sector interest in the EAC and establish a formalized dialogue. Looking especially on the second part, the project strongly supported the implementation of the annual Technical Advocacy Coordination Team meeting. And indeed, it has been organized every year and also even in 2021 in a virtual way due to the pandemic. All participants of this TACT meeting that we interviewed highly appreciated this meeting and praised it, yeah, and mentioned how important and relevant it was. And this is how also even during the pandemic, EABC was able to develop and submit the policy advocacy agenda for last and this year. Secondly, as you all know, last week again, exactly 1 week ago, the EABC technical working group has been relaunched. There had been a technical working group already, not functioning as well as everybody hoped for. So now it has been relaunched, which is a great sign and a step to really formalize the dialogue between the EABC and the EAC. Also, this has been supported strongly by this partnership project. Looking at result number 2, visibility and reputation of the EABC, this was remarkable. All interview partners highlighted the increased visibility and reputation of the EABC, starting with the new offices since 2019, which are much more representative than the ones before. The implementation of the CEO roundtables and membership visits in 5 out of 6 member states that have been successfully conducted and highly appreciated by all member states. Then, of course, this important event, the high-level East African Business and Investment Summit that took place in November 2019. That was also a huge event, a turnaround event. And of course, it would be ideal if this could be implemented every year once the pandemic situation allows for it. Then there was a very successful introduction of 4 national liaison officers in 2019. And here again, their performance was really praised by everybody who has been working with them. Congratulations on that. That's not evident being so far away from the EABC Secretariat and still working in such an effective and efficient way. So also a big achievement. Then, as mentioned already before by Mr. Kalisa, the daily news feeds by email and WhatsApp, all the newsletters to the EABC members have highly strengthened the visibility, the felt the information that passed from the region to the members in the member states about all the issues that are relevant for doing business in the region. Also, this is a huge success and has been mentioned in each interview without exception, I would say, if I remember correctly. And of course, that goes together the increased media coverage as well on TV, press, social media, etc. Now the third result, or before maybe I do a short break and come back, maybe it's too much. Are there any questions or comments so far? And please let me know. Everything has been clear?
Yeah, everything is fine. We really appreciate. Please proceed.
Okay, thank you very much for this feedback. Okay, so finally, result number 3. Again, that was the increased performance of the EAC that should act in a way that stakeholders and members see its added value. A very important result for a business council. So one missing, I see, but I remember that in the membership survey that has been conducted in 2019, 100% of the associations being member of the EABC said that the performance, the general performance, was much better than the year before, 100%. And of the corporate members, 93% said it was either much better or better than the year before. It's a good indicator, I would say. Then the project influenced and enhanced and financed the EABC board charter that sets out the rights and duties of the members of the board. Very important for each business council to have such a charter that makes everything clear for those who are on the board. Then, of course, there has been this customer relationship management software that has been established both at the EABC and already at 9 BMOs, and more than 50 officers have already been trained. Everybody who used this CRM or knows about it has also praised it a lot in our interviews. Again, the national liaison officers as direct EABC contact persons in 4 member states are doing a great job, and everybody mentioned that during the interviews. And this also increased the perspective on EABC's performance, and it did increase the performance in general as the voice of the region, of the private sector in the region. Then also, of course, the up-to-date information provided to members via daily news feeds, newsletters, etc. was highly appreciated, and also shows the increased performance of the EABC as regional apex body. Then the Elite Circle membership has been introduced with support of the project for corporate members. That was a good first step to have these new categories in order to attract more members and for the members to benefit even more from the membership. And finally, again, I cannot stop mentioning that because that was really a success, it seems, this EABC in November 2019, which also was a good possibility to show the increased performance of the EABC. Do you have any question now or comments? There it is, very important. Last but not least, again, the membership results of the membership survey. Okay, good. Have any question? Yeah, please, Mr. Kalisa.
So that's fine.
Fine. Okay. So now I come to our food for thought. Lisa's and mine also discussed already with the project team for the project and beyond. Also, bearing in mind the objectives and results of this particular project. The TAC meetings, as I said already, have been perceived as highly relevant and important by everybody who participated in these meetings. Some suggestions were made to improve its effectiveness, let's say. It could be held twice per year to update the members' needs more regularly. And also, it could be an opportunity for the members to provide feedback to the EABC, so that this is not only taking place informally or via the membership survey, but in an institutionalized manner during this TAC meeting. National liaison officers are so effective and productive and enhancing really the visibility and performance of the EABC that it would be very important also to have it for each member state. The border visits were highlighted as well as really helpful for all members. And an idea would be, because that's very time consuming, that they could be conducted either by technical EABC officers who know the sectors, or even by the NLOs to support and relieve the EABC ED. Please continue with your excellent PR and media work, because that was really amazing how much that enhanced and promoted the EABC. As I mentioned, the Elite Circle membership has been introduced. The next step would now be to inform all members, all corporate members, about these new categories that are gold, silver, and bronze, and also to inform about the different benefits that these categories bring with. so that everybody, all members, can think about it if they are willing and interested to become a gold, silver or bronze member to benefit more from the different services provided and see the added value for money also for those who are already gold, etc. member. Here, the project, until the project end, could really support in developing a marketing and implementation strategy for this elite circle membership. How to do the marketing with the members and how to implement this really. How can you convince the members of the benefits and make them pay for it as well? Then another recommendation or food for thought would be to provide further training on how to develop and how to promote income generating services to become financially independent again. While we were reviewing all the project documents, we've seen that in 2019, EABC was already financially stable and independent. And this financial stability was possible before the pandemic. Unfortunately, then, as we know, the pandemic had a big effect on everybody and everything. And but in 2019, there was already this financial stability. So it is possible for EABC to reach it again. And here the project could really contribute by giving some training, especially maybe by BDI experts themselves or its member associations, to travel to the region and give some trainings on that. And finally, the CRM trainings that have been conducted already. Now it would be the moment to hand over really the torch to Stefania, who's in charge at EABC, to really ensure the sustainable use of the software and maybe also ideally continue training by EABC to its members on new features, etc. So these are our main, is the summary of our conclusions and our findings, our food for thought for you. And we really look forward now to your comments. Use this, please, as opportunity to highlight what you think might be missing and also to, to make any comments you deem necessary or relevant. Thank you very much for your attention and again for your participation. I want to highlight again how grateful Lisa and I were for the support provided by BDI, by Sequa and Jörg in person, but of course also by the EABC staff who made all this possible. Thank you very much. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Claudia. And I hope that you all have some questions now, because this is not a one-way street. In fact, we wanted to provide you with this food for thought in order for you to also ask questions and discuss and maybe also highlight a few things where you see yourselves coming in individually as stakeholders of EABC, as staff members of EABC. So I have a risen hand already by our board member from Roofings, please. Stuart, that is.
Steven, I see some.
No, that's not me.
I see Steven. Go ahead, Steven.
Sorry.
Hello, this is Steven, representing Private Sector Federation Rwanda. Mine is, you just mentioned of a big event, the East Africa Business Council Investment Summit. I like numbers. Would you tell us the intended objective of the summit and what could be the achievement from the summit? Thank you.
I would say the numbers, and I don't have the numbers here now, but the objective of the EABC, I think that the person to, I hand this over to EABC, who are the organizers and could best summarize that, I would say.
I agree. I agree. Just to make sure that the EABC was a success in terms of reputation and in terms of finance. So it was an income generating activity. Maybe somebody at EABC wishes to comment on the success of EABC, please.
Yeah, first, okay, Patrick may respond to that from my team. Over to you, Patrick.
Yes, thank you very much, Job. Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me all. Yeah. So on behalf of my executive director, maybe about the East African Business and Investment Summit. This one was held in Arusha, and this event actually brought together all business players. There were about, if I'm right, there were about nearly 700 participants at this event. Yeah, and as EABC, we were able to actually have different round tables on different sessions or sessions on different topics that are relevant to the East Africa region. And after the topics, we also held a plenary where we had our chairman and also together with the Council of Ministers, that is all ministers from all the countries of East Africa, they were able to participate in this roundtable discussion. And after that, the communique of the summit was signed by the chair of the EAC Council of Ministers. Actually, it was signed, so it was already adopted by the Council of Ministers. So this is what has been able to push EABC forward in terms of even having a dedicated session between EABC, a dedicated session between EABC and the Council of Ministers before any heads of state meeting. So this summit was very successful, and the resolutions were actually signed by the chair of the Council of Ministers. And the chief guest actually was the president of Tanzania, who was represented by the Minister of Foreign Affairs. As much as he didn't come, but actually he was reading the speech on behalf of the president of Tanzania. And it was live all over the newspaper, all over the television in all countries, especially in terms of, in Tanzania, it was live in the national television. Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you very much, Patrick.
Thank you very much, Patrick. And I also want to thank Stephen for reading that. And I think it's a one food for thought. One in that, and I want to again allow me appreciate the work by Claudia and Lisa in terms of the results. The results are clear, they are tangible, they are visible, and they echo to what I've discovered in my visit to Uganda. Some of our members, what they need to see EAC doing, EABC doing. And when you look at areas for food for thought, and which also respond to the question raised by Stephen. One is that the engagement, the issues tabled by private sector, the studies done, they must generate impact. They must generate results. If there is an issue related to tax or customs duties, it has to be resolved, because when we want to do that, when it is resolved, we need to document that. I think I agree with Risa, I agree with Stephen, and Stephen who raised that question. In terms of what we need to do, and I think that's where we, and thanks again to Claudia, that's where we are. This formal engagement with the EAC Secretariat, its purpose is that the issues raised by the business community across the region has to be resolved. If they are not resolved at a technical level, there is a channel they can be escalated to the Council of Ministers, then to the head of states. So I agree with the Stephen that organizing a summit is very important and crucial, attracting a number of stakeholders, including high-level officials. But did we achieve our results? Yes, I would say we achieved it, given some of the issues that were tabled in the summit have been escalated and some have been resolved. So I would be able to share with Stephen some of the issues that were resolved, that emerged from that communique of the summit, that some have been tabled and resolved. And some of the members give a feedback that those issues have been fully resolved. So that's in addition to what Patrick mentioned. Again, I wanted to say that this review done by Lisa and Claudia, it's an eye-opener on our side. It's an eye-opener in terms of scaling up our intervention, deepening our work on integration, as Matthias said, making EABC voice stronger for its members. We need to enhance our advocacy agenda. We need to communicate. And again, I want to thank the team that the communication has been one of the key highlights of our achievement. And being new, I've also seen that really EABC has been able to reach a number of members through communication. But we need to do more. We need to do enough in terms of resolving issues through tact. And I think that's where the food for the 1 point for food for thought, as my visit and engaging members, some of the issues say that they need us to continue communicating and communicate in terms of the results achieved. These are some of the results, but we need to continuously and monthly draw a kind of matrix where if the issue is raised, well, what is the status of the issue? Has it been resolved or it has not been resolved? So constant and continuous communication will be critical through this partnership and engagement. Then, of course, I would not underline the importance of having national liaison officers at the country level, where now I've met Emmanuel and others at the capitals. They are doing a great work, and I want to appreciate BDI for that support. Finally, is the issue of software, and I think I agree the software needs also to be accessible to all the members. Access this software, usability of the software, as it enables to reduce the transaction and also helps us to monitor who is our members, who is not our members, what are the issues. So we need to fast track and again roll out the software. So those are my few insights. Otherwise, I want to appreciate the team for the good work done, excellent work. As I mentioned, it echoes to what I've also seen on the ground, what I've discovered, what members have raised, that EABC is now becoming a true voice of the business community across the region. Thank you. I hand over to you, York.
Thank you very much, Idika Lisa. If I may add on this, we actually, as part of the CRM, have a feature in which issues raised are put in by either the national liaison officers or Zephania into the system, whoever holds the license, and then the team can track the progress of the issue on what the current status is. Everybody can give it updates and mark it in different categories until it's eventually resolved. So this is also something for us to really make a general normal way of working with on a daily basis. Open it in the browser. And I think this has a lot of potential. And we are still working on fine-tuning the CRM together with our German partners. And we would really like to make it tailor-made to EABC needs. So that is also something I'm still looking forward to accomplishing. And another thing, which I also discussed with the team, was that in order to then maybe not just have the issue resolved and put it back into the drawer, also maybe play the drums actively about the problems that has been solved for each member, because we also found, and if I may say so, my personal impression was that the members we had interviewed, that Claudia Martens and Lisa Junemann had interviewed, they were particularly happy about a problem being solved, a problem that they had, which they could address EABC for, which EABC for them then resolved. And this is something very tangible, which also members are very happy to stay a member, so to speak. And of course, advocacy as such is important. Consulting as such is important, but problem solving is really the key. And this is also the feedback that we got. I see Patrick is raising his hand. Are you still, is this still, would you like to say something, Patrick, please?
No, Yog, sorry.
Okay, no problem. Now we have any other questions or comments. Anybody would like to say something about what they can see and what they heard about the presentation? No questions, no comments, no feedback. Maybe Lara, you wish to say a few words about how you felt about the last 3 years. You want to say a few things about how you experienced the change and how you also see this change being reflected in what Claudia also presented?
Yeah, sure. When I started, it was in 2018 with the second project phase, but I've been also visiting EABC twice as a short-term expert in the first project phase. So I have been knowing at least some of the EABC team, including Patrick, Adrian Lemek. I've been knowing them for quite a while now. And I have been, even though I have not been there for the whole time because I was on maternal leave, but I've been following EABC development very, very closely, and I was very happy to be back in March. And for one thing, I enjoyed the opportunities of the project, of exchange, of personal exchange, and also for our colleagues, some of them who have never been to Africa, like you probably remember Claudia, my colleague who helped with the organization of EABs. It was her first time coming to Africa, and she got so many new impressions and learned so much. It was so great to see her come back and really being in love with Africa. So the project did not only help EABC to achieve those results that we have been talking now, but also establish personal relationships. And although I'm very, very proud to be EABC's partner as BDI and seeing it grow, I'm also very happy about these personal relationships that have been built, and I really hope that we can build them further in the future, even without a project. But maybe, I don't know, maybe there will be a next EABC, and maybe if we know in advance, we can bring a German delegation. We can advertise the event in Germany to have German companies participate, or also make it known to German companies that are already in the region. And the updates that you are sending, I really hope to keep on receiving them, so we can also share them with our members so they know what's happening in the region. And yeah, from my perspective, it's been remarkable what EABC has achieved. It really, through the last days, all the interviews we have conducted, it was just great to be to be that impressed and to see how the perspective of EABC with everyone we've been talking to has changed. So if you have any ideas for our cooperation, or also for the next month of because the project is not ending yet, we still have a bit of time. I still hope that we can bring at least one of our BDI colleagues to Africa. We had a few things planned for the last year, which due to the pandemic couldn't take place, but I hope that we can bring someone. That would be great. But if you have any other ideas, we are very happy to hear them. So you can always contact Jörg or email also me personally, as you wish. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lara. Those were very nice words. I don't have to give a speech yet because I'm still in touch and I'm still on the ground. I'm still going to be accompanying EABC, but maybe, and I also know that she also wants to say a few words. I want to hand over to Julia, who is working for ZEQUA on behalf of the German Ministry of Economic Cooperation, also to give her final remarks. Please, Julia.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jörg. Yeah, it is remarkable and it is amazing what you have achieved as the EABC and the EABC team. And I would like to thank you on behalf of ZEQUA, but also in the name of our whole team for this cooperation in the past 6 years, because we learned a lot with you and from you. And those cooperation projects, it's never a one-way street with a dead end. It's always a huge highway with several lines in each direction. So thank you very much for everything we learned with you and from you. And also we appreciated a lot your commitment, not only for the project, but first of all for the EABC, for your organization. And I think the most frequent question in our interviews was if we can extend the project, if we can continue the project. And I think it's not a secret that everybody in our round today, including myself, we regret a lot that this project is going to the end this year. But I have to reveal one particular thing about the approach of ZECWA partnership programs. And this is probably uncommon, but we at ZECWA, we plan the project from the end to the beginning. It means that when the project starts, we already think about the end of the project. So we are preparing for the project end from the very early stage of the project. What does it mean? It means that every activity we support you with, we think about if it helps you in a long term or if it's something very short term. So it means that this is very important for us, that you gain on strength and you depend on you become independent, and it can help you to stand on your own feet, because we understand that only under those conditions you can be seen as a self-determined organization and an equal partner in every respect, and for every further project you will come in with other partners. So this is the approach of ZECWA. And so yes, we are eager to become redundant for the benefit of our partnership and in favor of the EABC. I wanted to provoke a little bit, but yes, this is the purpose of ZECWA, to become redundant. During our interviews, as my colleagues already mentioned, Claudia, Lisa, Lara, Jörg, we got a very, very positive feedback from your members that you have done a great job in the past 3 or 6 years. And I want to emphasize that these are not the achievement of the project. These are the achievements of the EABC, of the EABC staff, and of the EABC members. And this is very important for me to underline. And we got a feedback from your members that the EABC provides a lot of services that are demanded, that are very much appreciated, and that are used. And there were a lot of problems solved where you are contributed. You help to facilitate imports, exports. You supported your members, and that was the most important finding in our mission, I would say, because we know that the satisfied members are always paying members, and those members are also interested to promote the EABC and interested in the growth and in the development of and in the sustainability of the EABC. So we are coming to the end of this project and of this partnership, not to the end of the partnership, but to the end of the partnership project, with the confidence that we have gained a very strong partner with a large network in East Africa. And the EABC has gained a strong partner in Germany. We are looking forward to continuing this partnership, this new form of the partnership beyond the project and also for the decades to come. This is from my side. I think, yeah, we can continue because we got so many impressions, but we hope that we will continue, as Lara said, in further events, in participating together in conferences and meeting, and seeing you also as a strategic partner in other SECMA projects. That would be great. Thank you very much. Back to you,
very
Jörg.
much. Thank you very much, Julia, also for your kind words. I may also say that the results which Claudia and Lisa revealed and presented, we're going to share those with you, ED, so that you can also go over them one more time, maybe also take your time to review some of the details. There's also going to be a more a larger final report, which you can then tap into, and you can look at everything in detail about the rationale of the project, of course, and how the successes that we identified can also benefit, help you benefit in the future. I'm not really going to give a speech, as I said, because it's not my time to leave just yet. I will be back. So if nobody else at EABC, at staff or participants, nobody here in this meeting, if you would like to say something, if you'd like to comment, if you'd like to also express your ideas, wishes, now is your time, if you like.
Jörg, thank you very much. Perhaps I wanted to give my board member to say a few concluding remarks. Then
Of
I can
course,
also,
of course.
Yeah. Having had all these good sentiments and a good presentation.
Thank you very much, team. Once again, Dr. Job, without any connotations, Stuart Jason Mwesigwa, if you want to add roofings, no problem. It's all right.
I knew it was you. I knew it was you.
Yes. Of course, just to re-emphasize like what we were discussing last week, I know the project is coming to an end this year, and as you rightly say, we are now going to start from the end. We are starting by ending the project, but giving us more opportunity to see how best we can partner together. Since you have been satisfied that actually when you join hands with us, we can achieve much more. I want to re-emphasize the fact that I told you we are having new members on board as EABC, especially as partner states. That is South Sudan and DRC. These are actually they are the biggest states. They are bigger than any other for those who have been existing. South Sudan is so huge. DRC is extra large, if I can say. And there is a lot of potential to do business with them because they are almost virgin areas. There will be a lot of construction. There is a lot of logistical issues to handle. So for us, as the voice of the private sector in the region, there is going to be so much for us to do. That's why last time I concluded by saying we actually need the German corporation, we need BDI more than before. If we have been, for example, having 10 representatives who are handling different issues, we might now require maybe 20 people, save for the situation of COVID, whereby everybody is encouraging to do things virtually. But we are going to those other virgin areas where they still don't believe that we can be doing things the way we are interacting right now from different parts of the world. There are certain things which can't be done virtually. If we are doing construction of a road, somebody must physically go there, drive a grader, till the land, to put the drainage. The physical appearance is not going to run away from us. And this is how the business of exchanging of commodities, cash, trade, and what have you developments is actually going to flourish, I would say. So we require your partnership. We require your presence, both virtual and physical. We need you more than ever before. All that said, we thank you very much for what has happened in the past. Of course, hiccups can be there, here and there. But that is the gist of the game. That's what makes it exciting. Thank you very much for your time. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I think Dr. Yog, you've heard from my board member who has been very key in this project, and who also participated fully in the debriefing meeting 10 days back, and I'm happy he was able to join and hear from you. Let me say again, mine is also to move a vote of thanks to the team, including Julia, Lala, yourself, Yog, Matthias, Claudia, and Lisa for this partnership, for this excellent partnership. I agreed with what Julia was saying. Any project, what we call project cycle management, any project has a start and an end. But the end of the project is not the end of the world. So generally, the end of the project, based on good wisdom and good recommendation coming from Claudia, it brings an initiation of new projects, because the recommendation forms part of the project. So I really look forward that we move together and take forward those excellent recommendations coming and generated from the good and excellent reviewer, evaluator who have done good work, so that we build, we continue to raise the profile of East African Business Council. I think your work, maybe which Claudia and Lisa did not touch on, your work has been very instrumental during COVID. EABC generally became more visible during COVID because we intervened during COVID to ensure that the goods and services could continue to flow across borders with minimal barriers, minimal hindrances. So the critical role of EABC was visible during the COVID, the emergence of COVID, when there were a number of challenges, the restrictions, the bans, and other issues that were associated with COVID. So now, as I take over this role of being a new CEO, I look also forward for your support in the post-COVID recovery, where you need to support the business in terms of business continuity, in terms of supporting the more services to ensure those sectors that were heavily hit by COVID are able to revamp and are able to continue their businesses. I look forward again to deepen the CM system you've initiated, and deploy more tools in terms of sustainability of our membership. I appreciated the initiative, the categories you've brought into the EABC, and members are really very appreciative about those categories and the services associated with being a elite member, and other membership categories that you've supported the team to deliver. We need also to continue to deepen our work on advocacy agenda and ensure that the issues taken to the Council of Ministers are resolved. Lastly, on my side, again, I look forward for your support in terms of raising awareness on the big market now, moving EABC, extending its wings to DRC, to South Sudan, and also to the continental. We want to be the leader in terms of championing continental free trade area. So GIZ has built a very strong foundation, but they should continue with us also to complete the house, a full, well-equipped house. So I look forward again, Lala, Yog, and Julia for that support, and I'll continue to engage. There are a lot of opportunities we can do in terms of new engagements. Over to you, Dr. Yog.
Thank you very much, Idika Lisa. And I think this is where we can also engage personally, which I'm very much looking forward to on Monday, because we are not yet done. I'm sure you have a few ideas still, and a few ideas that we can really roll out. And I know that staff has a few ideas. I know I have a few ideas. And I can't wait to meet you in person because we've just been doing this virtually all the time. But yes, I will be looking forward to meeting you next week in Arusha. And I really, really wish to thank each and everyone who have participated in the past 10 days, make these past 10 days work. First and foremost, of course, EABC staff, that is Evelyn, that is Zephania, also Jeffrey, been in the meeting, Patrick, and NLOs, you heard the feedback, you did great. Also, this is good to know. And yeah, I think we have a few things more to do. And I would like to thank everyone for making time for this meeting. I wish to like to thank the stakeholders for coming. Sometimes when you see emails like this, you're wondering, what is this actually that I'm going to do here? What am I going to participate in? What a progress review? What is this about? But still, this was very important feedback. Based on the feedback, EABC can improve, and EABC is yet to start. Turnaround has been successful. And now we're getting the gears up and now we're taking off really. And I'm very, very glad that I can say this here in this situation. Thank you all very much. JB Kalisa, maybe you want to say a few final remarks, unless you say it's okay.
No, thank you. I think Patrick, maybe before I deliver my final remarks,
yes,
my colleague Patrick also want to say a few words, then I can give a concluding remarks.
Yeah. Thank you very much, CEO. Maybe I just wanted to remind if you could have a group photo of a digital photo, if after your remarks, sir.
I think that's a good idea. It's a very nice idea.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yog, and thank you the entire team, Julia, Lal, Matthias, and the evaluators who have done excellent work, who have done a presentation on the assessment for the past 10 days. I want to thank you. And I want also to thank our board members who have made the time to join us, and the other partners on the call from different countries who have joined the call. I want to thank my team who are present, both from advocacy department, from membership, from research, and national liaison officers who are here. Yeah, for delivering good results. These are results that have been externally tested, and they have met the requirements. So we need to give them a round of applause in terms of thanking them for a good work well done. So that's the good results are delivered by the team, and I want to thank them, of course, with an oversight from the board. So my appreciation to do this teamwork spirit and the level of professionalism demonstrated during this exercise. So on my side, really, as I highlighted that I'm looking forward to engage everyone, especially Yog next week, as you rightly put it. We need to have a physical meeting in terms of charting the way forward. How do we continue to enhance and build on good relationship we've already nurtured, and we want to upscale it further. So I'm looking forward to engage everyone and continue to work with everyone from BDI, from the German government, so that we continue to have that partnership. I will ask the board and the team that we need also to pay a visit to our brothers and sisters in Germany so that we are able to have physical interaction. Then we need also to start having a kind of memorandum of understanding with the German industries in terms of encouraging them and attracting them to come and do business in East Africa. East Africa is a very viable investment destination. Despite all these challenges we've been talking about, but if you compare, generally there is a recent study by, I think by UNECA and African Development Bank. So East Africa is still the most promising, the fast growing region, and the first more proactive regional economic community. So there is a lot we can do, even in terms of doing business, in terms of promoting investment, between the German companies with East African companies. So I'm looking forward to continue to enhance and forge those relationships at the company level, at the business association level, and at the regional level. So count on our support, count on our commitment. We are here and we will continue to enhance the relationship. So with those are my few remarks. I hand over to you, Dr. Yog.
Thank you very much. I hereby wish to, unless there is anybody else who wishes to add something, close this meeting. I think it has been a good meeting. I think the exchange was very fruitful. And Patrick, if you like, you can now be in charge and call for group photos.
Okay.
Do we have
Thank
to
you very
stand?
No, maybe everyone to switch on their videos and also the person
our video.
projecting. Yeah, switch on your videos.
Myself and the board member we are sharing. I don't know whether we are visible.
Okay.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
The person projecting, if you can switch off the projection, if you can remove the projection. Okay. Yes. Yes, Sylvester, if you can take a group photo, Sylvester also. You can support in taking a photo also. A screenshot. So let's say EABC BDI.
But are you still
EABC BDI?
EABC BDI. Long live and good cooperation.
Patrick.
Yes.
Are you
One
still
more,
background? Well,
I'm just taking it right now. Another one.
Is it clear?
Is that better?
Yes, I can't see Sylvester. Sylvester, is your video on? Maybe you can also take a photo, Sylvester, from your end also. Yes, one last one. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Patrick.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Patrick, and thanks our friends and the colleagues from BDI and all those who have participated in this close-out meeting. So wish you a great evening and look forward to meet next time.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All the best.
All the best for you.
All the best for you.
Yeah.
All the best.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
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 Good. Thanks.